What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have something a little different, a departure from the normal competition pistols I review. I have this little guy, the 80X Cheetah by Beretta, chambered in 380 or 9mm short. So this is a really unique platform. This is a upgrade to the original Cheetah platform that was popular for many years but was discontinued. Full disclosure, Beretta did send this to me for free as part of being on the team, but I will try to be as unbiased as I can be. Before I go into the review itself and go over some of the unique features of this gun, let's do a quick unboxing. All right, so this is the case, pretty standard case. If you get some of the other color options, the bronze or the green, it comes in a much nicer leather case. This one here is lockable. So opening up here, you'll see the firearm. Comes with two 13-round magazines in the box. Comes with a cable lock. And then inside here, you have some promotional material, manual, and then the firearm itself. All right, so first thing you will notice picking up one of these is that it is quite a bit chunkier. Chunkier? Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a word. Chunkier than some of your other 380 options out there. That's gonna be due to the fact that it is aluminum framed. The gun itself is coming in at 29 ounces. It's gonna be 6.8 inches in overall length. So to give you a comparison, this is a Glock 19. If I put these up to each other, it is not that much smaller than a Glock 19 here, and not that much shorter. However, what I will say is the size of the gun and how much it weighs really helped with how the gun shot and the felt recoil. A lot of people will say that the 380 round is pretty snappy, but I didn't find that to be the case with this gun. I felt like it was really pleasant to shoot, and I think that's because of the weight and the overall balance of the gun. All right, so starting front to back here, the barrel itself is a 3.9 inch cold hammer forged barrel. Exceptional accuracy out of this barrel. I was shooting Blazer 380 and some defense loads, and the groupings were fantastic, so I was really happy with that. Sighting system, iron sights, 3-dot sighting system here, which is fine. I prefer a fiber optic front post and a blacked out rear, but that front post is removable, so you can change that out. So I'm really happy about that. It is cut for an optic. You will need an optics plate, so you can purchase that from Beretta. They have them on the website, and then you can put on some of your smaller red dot options out there, such as the ones from Trichicon or HoloSun. So moving on to the slide itself. The slide is fairly easy to manipulate. It does feel a little bit different because it's the blowback design, but compared to some other 380 options out there, it's fairly easy to manipulate, which is really good for shooters who may not have as strong of hands, or female shooters such as my wife. She was shooting this and it was really easy for her to manipulate, and this will probably end up being her carry gun once I'm done reviewing it and testing it. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, so moving on back, we have a skeletonized hammer. It is double action, single action design. Before I get to the trigger though, let's talk about this safety system here. So there has been some confusion on here. It does look like a frame mounted safety similar to the 92X Performance or the 92XI, but this is actually a decocker. This gun is not designed to be carried cocked and locked. There is this little halfway point on the decocker here where the trigger will feel like it's dead, but if you push it enough, it will fire and it'll drop the hammer forward. So it is not designed to be carried cocked and locked. That is not a safety. What this is a decocker. So if I push this up, it'll go to this halfway point where it's engaging the sear or the hammer. And then when I keep pushing it up, it'll drop the hammer and go back into double action. If you leave it up like this, it is working like a normal safety, the trigger is dead. If I were to push it down, it'll fire in double action and then continue to fire in single action. So this is a decocker. It is not a frame mounted safety. You know, if you want to carry it cocked and locked, that's totally up to you. That is not how the gun is designed to be carried. All right, so now that we're done with the safety, let's move on down to the frame. Like I said, it is an aluminum frame. So the beaver tail here is slightly curved. It's not a super harsh angled curve downwards like the 92X Performance, but it feels really good in your hand. The one thing I will say is if you have fairly large hands like I do, if you are super high up on this gun, that slide can bite you. It was doing that to me when I was shooting it, so I did kind of have to adjust my grip just a little bit and not have my hand so high and tight up there. But for most people, that's not going to be a problem. Also, you can stop the slide from moving if you are pressing your thumbs up against it, like I was in some shots. I was pressing my thumb just like this, and I was actually stopping that slide from moving back. So you will have to adjust your grip a little bit and maybe put your thumb down on the frame of the gun, or just have it hover a little bit. But if you put too much pressure on there, because the gun is a little bit smaller, it will stop that slide from moving. So the frame also has a Picatinny rail, so you can put on your lights, lasers, or what have you. And now let's talk about the trigger. So the trigger on this gun is phenomenal. So the double action is very smooth. It's braking right around 6.5 pounds. Single action is about 4 pounds. It was going down to as low as 3.5 pounds, but that will probably smooth up even more. I'll show you what the trigger pulls like. So there is not a lot of staging here. It just rolls all the way through, and it's a very smooth brake in double action. So there it is again, and brake. So there's no hitch, or it doesn't feel like there's anything engaging with the sear and the hammer. It just rolls all the way through. And then the single action is phenomenal. So just a little bit of take up and then wall. It's a really crisp brake, and that's the brake there. And I'll show you what the reset is here. So it's a little bit longer than some of my 92X Performances or XIs, but that's the reset here. And then back to the wall and brake. I was really impressed with the double action to single action. Some of these blowback design guns don't have the best triggers, but this gun is phenomenal. I'm really happy with the trigger. You can also adjust the pre-travel, or I'm sorry, the over travel here with the screw detent. So you can adjust that. There is a little screw detent inside that you can use an Allen wrench to change. I left it as is, so I'm happy with that. Grip is going to be the Vertex style grip that's common on many of the 92s that are releasing now. The grip panels themselves are just the plastic Beretta grip panels. There's not a lot of texture to them. However, you can replace these with aftermarket ones. Lock Grips actually just sent me a pair that I'm going to be replacing here shortly that are much more texturized, so I will be doing that. The magwell is just a standard magwell. It's not beveled or anything, so that'll help with concealed carry. However, if you have really large hands like I do, and you have some of that meat hanging off the end there, when you're dropping the mags, it can get stuck. So you just have to train around that. Once I figured that out, I was able to get pretty fast reloads, so no problems there. So what are my final thoughts on the 80X Cheetah? Well, I don't shoot a lot of micro compact pistols. I've always just stuck to full-size guns. That's what I prefer to carry and shoot. So I didn't really know what to expect when they sent me this, but I was very pleasantly surprised. This gun shot fantastic. The trigger is phenomenal, and it's just a really fun gun to shoot. The recoil impulse on this gun is much more forgiving than other 380 guns I've shot in other micro compact 9mm. Now, whether or not you should carry a 380 for self-defense or concealed carry, ultimately that's gonna be up to you. There's been a lot of debate and argument and videos online whether the 380 is a suitable round for self-defense. Do your research, and if that's the route you wanna go, the 80X is a fantastic option. I've been very happy with it so far. Like I said, this is probably gonna end up being my wife's concealed carry because of the size and how well it shoots. But if you guys have any questions on this gun, go ahead and put it in the comment section and I'll try to get to it as quick as I can. For anyone who's new to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit the bell for any notifications. And if you have any ideas for any other Beretta products you want to see reviewed, go ahead and put that in the comments section and I will see what I can do. All right, guys, thanks. Bye.